Okay, so this is a step-by-step of my process for trauma-based mind control deprogramming. So I'll usually find the alters that I want to integrate by some sort of external stimuli. So like if I'm working on myself or a client, that person will have presented with a particular emotion or a particular behavior pattern. And so I look for like where in the physical body that is coming out. So someone's like, I feel really unnaturally angry and it's coming from the pit of my stomach. Then I will go in etherically into the stomach and find that alter. I have been wanting to make a video about my process, so thank you for giving me the motivation. The next thing I'm going to do is to look for the demonic attachments that are holding the programming in place. So for those of you guys that are watching that are new to understanding programming, demons are real. And they are used to basically, you can think of them as like little packets of energy or packets of energetic glue that are used to hold trauma-based programming into someone's etheric field and into their mind. They are sentient entities, and what I've channeled, and from my experience, they can actually be nature spirits that are just, you know, the person that programmed you kind of like trapped them from the natural world and stuck them into your body. So they show up as these like all-consuming demonic entities because it's just like if you stuck somebody into a food desert and we're like, huh, there you go, survive. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna try to get food to live. And the hungrier you get, the more violent you're gonna get trying to get that nutrition. So that's why these spirits are showing up as like demonic, very malevolent entities because they don't have the environment they need to survive. So they're being used in this way to cement the programming into your mind. So what I'll do is I'll look for the attachment points of the demonic entities and I will send them the image of a paper contract, and I will show it to them burning up into flames. And what this does is and usually I'll approach them with a sense of, you are sovereign, we are equals, and I want the best for you. I want you to be in an environment where you can thrive. And at that point, they're usually just like, okay, bet, our contract is up. I'm gonna leave, and so I guide them into a like little vacuum tube, and then they get sucked back into source. Or sometimes they really want to, exact their revenge on the people that put them into that place, and so in that case, I will send them return to sender, and usually they'll wreak a lot of damage on the person that put them there, and that's just karma. Usually these things are layered, so it's not like, and you probably know this glitch, but it's not like, you remove the demons once and then they're gone from that altar. There's usually layers, so you have to do that, multiple times over. But the next thing that I want to do is to look for the etheric structures in place. So if I'm looking at something like a cartoon programming, I just did a video about the Animaniac series, which was used in the 90s, and it was used on me to create alters. And so I'll look for like, what is the alter saying? What does it look like? I'll look for technology that's kind of, tubes and wires and metal structures and like organic structures, and I'll just start stripping them away. If I'm finding it difficult to do that and they're just like sticking a little bit, I will flood everything with pink Christ consciousness light. And that seems to like sedate everything, that unconditional love energy. It sedates everything, and it actually like, it's almost like pressure wash, well, not really pressure washing, but like soaking a dirty dish, and all the grime just starts melting off, and you just direct that flow back into source. Then you want to search for the soul fragment that is in that altar, and I usually see it as like a little blue piece. And you find it, you extract it from the altar, and you send it back into the created core. So before you do any sort of like any sort of reconstitution work, any sort of breaking down barriers between altars, what I like to do is to create a solid core. If somebody does not have a core that they can operate out of, I'll help them create one. And so any soul fragments that you find within these altars can be sent back to the core and reintegrated. And that seems to be a really fast way to help someone integrate. And once I've sent that soul fragment back to the core, then it's basically just garbage disposal. Anything that's left over gets sent and swept back into source. And then there's going to be like holes left over in the etheric field, wounds and holes and cuts. And in order to make sure that the demons don't come back, or other demonic entities that are floating around, spirits, they can attach back into you, if you don't close up the wounds. And so what I'll do is I'll go in and literally like surgery, I will go and stitch up any cuts and accelerate the healing so they will sort of seamlessly melt back into the hole. I will fill any holes in the etheric field, and so like it literally looks like a bubble of gel to me. And so I'll take healing gel and cover everything, and it sounds like little pops in my head. And so the visualization is, it's just a representation of the frequency of everything going on. So if that altar that I've been working on, if I zoom out and I see that it's been multiplied or twinned, I can, once I know how to deal with that particular altar, I can do all of the others simultaneously by applying the feeling, the frequency behind the visualizations I just did. So I don't have to go through every single compartment of that wheel of altars, or that section of altars, and do everything from scratch again. I can just tap into that feeling, and everything happens simultaneously, which is really cool because like that saves a lot of time. And after everything is done, just make sure to focus on that popping noise, which is filling all the holes and everything with healing gel. Make sure everything is pushed out of the etheric field, and then the demons will not be able to come back once you've done that and you've healed all the wounds, because they feed on your wounds basically. And yeah, that is my process for integrating an altar through energy healing. I'm very, very excited to hear about your process with hypnosis and see what we can do together.